You know this is the men's locker room, right? You trying to catch the MVP coming out of the shower?
Zach Gates.
Oh god, that's the erotica novel I wrote about Nate.
Wait, is this porn?
Give it back.
Never been kissed before.
Words are overrated.
Zach Gates gave me my first kiss?
Is that enough proof for you? Now you know why I wouldn't go to your dorm last night, Melissa. Like I told you, I'm not interested. So don't bother us again, all right?
What the hell? You think you're all that, huh, freshman? Telling me that you've been hitting on my stepsister while my girlfriend's been trying to still mess around with you?
No, Nate.
No, shut up. Jane, you told me you hated him.
Well,
It's called flirting.
This girl had a huge secret. She was madly in love with her stepbrother Nate. And her anonymous fantasy novel was sweeping the internet. But in a single moment, both secrets fell into the hands of her stepbrother's rival, the man she hated most, Zach. It all began during a crucial hockey championship. Today was Nate's final college match, the highlight of his career. Yet the talented but notorious rookie, Zach, intercepted Nate's final pass and scored the winning goal, stealing the victory and Nate's MVP award. Jane, the team assistant, watched her beloved stepbrother sink into disappointment. She ran to the locker room to comfort him, but collided with her worst enemy, Zach. Zach mocked her, teasing about peeking at the MVP in the shower, and declared he had become the new king of the university. Jane argued back, furious. Then Zach noticed her notebook. Reading it aloud, he exposed the explicit fantasy stories Jane had written about Nate. Jane went pale. Zach realized the character capable of a hat trick could only be Nate or himself. Smirking, Zach demanded to know, was Jane fantasizing about Nate or him? Before she could answer, he recognized her as the anonymous, wildly popular novelist Campus Desire Diary, and realized she had written him as the humiliating villain Mr. Z. Now all grudges combined with new leverage, Zach had total control. He demanded Jane immediately publish a new story proclaiming his superiority, where he would expose both her crush on Nate and her secret identity. Humiliated, she had no choice but to comply. Yet her troubles worsened. Jane soon caught Nate kissing a blonde woman in the storage room, Melissa, the same girl who had bullied Jane in high school, causing depression and social isolation. Melissa had now become cheerleading captain and stolen Nate's affection. Melissa recognized Jane and threatened her, warning that if Jane told Nate, her college life would become a living hell again. Jane tried to resist, but Melissa staged an accident, making it look like Jane had hurt her. Hearing the scream, Nate rushed over and, seeing Melissa injured, immediately blamed Jane. He demanded she apologize without hearing her side. Jane was trapped. Her rival controlled her secrets. The girl who tormented her had stolen her love. And even her stepbrother distrusted her publicly. Cornered on all sides, Jane faced a desperate choice. How could she fight back and reclaim both her dignity and her heart? One moment, Jane's secret diary confessing her love for her stepbrother Nate was exposed, making her the laughingstock of the entire school. The next, another prominent figure in the school suddenly rushed forward, kissed her in front of everyone, and declared her his girlfriend. The story begins just before this chaotic moment. Jane, the bespectacled girl, was cornered by Nate and his girlfriend, Melissa. Melissa played the innocent victim, claiming Jane had deliberately scratched her with glass out of jealousy. Nate, oblivious to Melissa's scheme, angrily scolded Jane, telling her to leave. Jane could only hold back tears and endure the humiliation. But this was only the first step in Melissa's manipulative plan. In front of everyone, Melissa snatched Jane's private diary and read it aloud. Every entry detailed Jane's crush on her stepbrother Nate. The secret was laid bare, and the crowd erupted. Students mocked Jane mercilessly, calling her a nobody who dreamed of unattainable love. Even Nate looked disgusted and shocked, as if Jane were the most shameful person in the world. Jane felt humiliated and furious, wishing she could disappear on the spot. At the brink of breaking down, an unexpected figure intervened, Zach, the school's other top athlete and rival to Nate. He snatched the diary from another student and claimed the writings were actually about him. Stunned gasps filled the room as Zach strode to Jane and publicly declared her his girlfriend. The crowd went wild. Melissa, Nate's girlfriend, burned with jealousy, having been rejected by Zach before. She accused Jane of threatening him. To make the scene more convincing, Zach lifted Jane's face and stole her first kiss. The kiss silenced everyone and humiliated Melissa, proving Zach as complete disinterest in her. He then dragged the stunned Jane away, leaving Nate watching in anger. In a secluded corner, Jane finally processed what had happened. She was grateful to Zach, but bewildered by the fake relationship and sudden kiss. Zach proposed a deal: he would pretend to be her boyfriend to hide her secret crush on Nate. And in exchange, Jane, an academic top student, would help him with his failing literature class final paper. Jane had no choice but to agree. Yet she didn't expect that Zach, while using her secret to pressure her, would also tease her with a flirtatious tone, revealing that he had secretly liked her for a long time. What began as a temporary arrangement suddenly became complicated and ambiguous. On one side was her stepbrother, whom she had loved for years but who looked at her with disgust. On the other, the charming, unpredictable school heartthrob, Zach, whose intentions were unclear. Jane's future hung in the balance caught between unrequited love and the dangerous, alluring new romance. The most famous relationship blogger in the entire school turned out to be a total nerd who hadn't even had her first kiss. All because she made a single anonymous slip online, claiming that the ace of the ice hockey team was overrated. The next moment she found herself cornered by two of the school's top heartthrobs, forced into a dangerous game of love. And it all started with her secret identity that she had to keep hidden from everyone. Her name is Jane. On the surface, she is an inconspicuous wallflower at Maple Leaf University. But online, she is the mysterious leader of the relationship blog Campus Love Talks. With her sharp critiques and bold opinions, she guides the romantic lives of countless girls in school. Yet no one knows that in real life, she hasn't even held a boy's hand. To maintain her persona, Jane recently turned her attention to the ice hockey team as the top stars Nate and Zach. In her latest blog post, she compared the two, codenaming them Mr. and Mr. Z, subtly hinting that Mr. Z looks impressive but is useless in reality. The post instantly exploded across campus, and rumors that Zach was no good spread everywhere. Before Jane could even feel triumphant, the real crisis hit. Zach, the very person she had slandered, showed up in person. Furious, he cornered her against the wall, demanding she publish a new post to clear his name with first-hand evidence. To make matters worse, Zach publicly announced that Jane was his girlfriend. Jane was utterly stunned. Just minutes earlier, she had struck a one-month fake couple deal with Zach's rival, the school heartthrob Nate. To handle a difficult term paper, Jane agreed to be Nate's contract girlfriend in exchange for exclusive gossip for her blog. They even set strict rules. No real feelings allowed. No physical intimacy. Jane must accompany Nate to all games and parties. And now, on paper, she was Zach's girlfriend. One is overbearing, the other cunning. Jane is caught between two school heartthrobs, unable to advance or retreat. At that moment, a text from Nate arrived, ordering Jane to wear a sexy swimsuit to attend his MVP celebration tonight. On one side is the contract boyfriend as command. On the other, the newly declared overbearing boyfriend as watchful gaze. How will Jane navigate this banquet of trouble? Can this daring relationship guru survive unscathed in this dangerous game of love? One moment, she was an unnoticed bookworm. The next, she was arm in arm with the school's hottest hockey star, descending into a party as the most dazzling girl in the room. And it all started with an absurd contract. The story begins with Jane, once a girl hidden behind thick glasses and ignored by everyone. Today, she has completely transformed. Wearing a stunning pink dress, she turns heads wherever she goes. Whispers ripple through the crowd. No one can believe that the new girlfriend of the school's heartthrob hockey prince, Zach, is none other than the inconspicuous wallflower Jane. Jane basks in unprecedented attention, but she knows the truth. It's all a lie. Zach is just a paid fake boyfriend, and the goal of this charade is simple: to make the man she secretly admires, Nate, jealous. But putting the plan into action is far more thrilling than she imagined. To make the act convincing, Zach constantly tests Jane's limits at the party. He places his hand on her waist, feeling her momentary symphony. Flustered and angry, Jane can only whisper at this pervert to move his hand, and silently remind herself to revise the contract later. What she doesn't realize is that this fake couple game is making the hockey prince increasingly interested in her. Soon, the battlefield moves to the pool side. To utterly outshine his rival, Zach urges Jane to show off her figure, even teasing her about her secret hobby, writing erotic novels despite having no real experience. Caught off guard, Jane reluctantly cooperates. She awkwardly applies sunscreen on Zach, and the clumsy touch unexpectedly stirs his heart. As the competition heats up, Zach decides to take control. He asks Jane to lie down and personally give her a massage. Those seemingly magical hands make Jane, the theory master of romance, feel her body melt for the first time. And the most explosive part, all of this is happening in front of her ultimate target, her stepbrother, Nate. The very man she wanted to make jealous is watching, his face turning green with anger. But Zach doesn't stop. He escalates to scooping Jane up and enacting a dramatic elopement. Facing such a wild contract boyfriend and an enraged stepbrother, how will Jane handle the chaos? This fake but real game of love, where will it ultimately lead? At the party, this vicious woman publicly tore off her stepsister's clothes, pointing at the scars left from her dieting, and mercilessly humiliating her, calling her a shriveled shopping bag. And it all began at this tense, undercurrent-filled yacht party. The girl in the scene is named Jane, insecure by nature. She bears permanent marks on her body from years of disordered eating. Today, she attends the party as the girlfriend of the hockey star Zach. But she knows in her heart that it's all an act. Zach is the archenemy of her stepbrother, Nate. He brought Jane along for one sole purpose: to provoke Nate. Sure enough, when Nate sees the two of them acting intimate, he immediately pulls Jane aside. He warns her that Zach is a heartless playboy and could never truly care for her. Every word drips with contempt, striking at Jane's very core, implying that only girls as glamorous and flawless as his own girlfriend, Melissa, are worthy of a star athlete. His words pierce Jane like knives, making her feel utterly worthless. The party atmosphere is lively, and Zach teases Jane into going swimming, throwing her into a state of sheer panic. She clings desperately to her clothes, determined that no one should see her scars, which would bring back the nightmares of being bullied in high school. But the more Jane tries to hide, the more trouble finds her. Melissa, her stepbrother's girlfriend, and the very woman who despises her, walks over. Convinced that Jane is deliberately trying to seduce Nate, jealousy and resentment burn in her eyes. The next moment, Melissa makes a shocking move. She yanks off Jane's jacket, the one she was using to cover herself. In an instant, Jane's deepest fear is exposed for everyone to see. Her scars are laid bare, and every eye at the party is on her. Melissa begins an unrelenting, vicious attack. Mocking Jane's body is disgusting and claiming that even anorexia could never make her beautiful. Facing this devastating blow, Jane finally finds the courage to fight back, angrily calling Melissa a jealous bully. But the cruelty doesn't stop there. Seeing Nate approaching, Melissa immediately grabs a shard of broken glass, cuts herself, and screams, falsely accusing Jane of pushing her. Before Jane can defend herself, Melissa reveals a sinister grin. She knows Jane cannot swim. With sudden force, she shoves Jane into the icy pool. Melissa's goal is to force Nate into a choice to save his perfect, flawless girlfriend, or save the stepsister he has always seen as ugly and worthless. At this life or death moment, who will Nate believe, and who will he save? Just because of a few tears from his green tea girlfriend, the man publicly accused his stepsister of being cruel and childish, even threatening to make her pay. What he didn't know was that the very girl he had pushed away would soon be cherished by another man, one he would come to regret losing. And it all began at this meticulously planned pool party. Notice the tearful woman in the scene, Melissa. She clings to her boyfriend Nate, claiming that it was his stepsister Jane who pushed her into the pool, almost drowning her. Seeing his girlfriend trembling in fear, Nate is filled with pity. Without hearing Jane's side of the story, he immediately chooses to believe Melissa. He storms over to Jane, who is equally drenched and helpless, and lashes out with the harshest words. He calls her a childish and cruel vixen and declares that he will never trust her again. Facing her stepbrother's baseless accusations and the scornful stares of the onlookers, Jane feels as if her heart had been ripped apart. She tries to explain, but Nate violently interrupts her. Just when Jane feels utterly hopeless, a mysterious man suddenly steps forward, shielding her behind him. He boldly announces that Jane is his girlfriend and warns Nate never to threaten her again. This man is the host of the party, a wealthy heir with a powerful background. Without mercy, he drives Nate and Melissa out of the party. Humiliated in public, Melissa flies into a rage, blaming Jane for everything. She unexpectedly discovers Jane's hidden dirty little secret and swears to destroy her reputation. After the party, the heir finds Jane hiding alone in a corner. At this moment, Jane is tightly wrapped in a towel, unwilling to let anyone see her scars. But instead of judging her, the heir takes off his own shirt, revealing the scars from his childhood training. He gently tells Jane that scars are not marks of ugliness, but medals of overcoming the past, proof of beauty. He encourages her, saying she doesn't need the approval of idiots like Nate. Deeply moved by his sincerity, Jane finally gathers the courage to reveal the secret behind her scars. Back in high school, after her father's sudden death, she suffered immense trauma and developed severe anorexia, leaving these shocking marks on her body. Seeing this fragile yet strong girl before him, the heiress' eyes are filled with unprecedented tenderness. He softly touches her scars and tells her that from now on, she need never feel ashamed again. However, they do not know that the malicious Melissa has already taken photos of Jane's scars, planning to expose them publicly and humiliate her in front of the entire school. Will Jane's path to revenge be cut short? And how will the man who truly cares for her protect her?